Hey AfterBuzzers, we're here to talk about season 6 premiere of New Girl. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey girl, what you doing?
Hello! We are here to talk about the season premiere of New Girl, which in fact, Zooey Deschanel got her taste of directing this episode. I'm Nasta, and you can find me on Twitter at @AllieGirl__. And this is Tessa, and where can they find you?
They can find me at BananaBoFana on Twitter and Tessa_Saval on Instagram.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. So after a lot of wait for this premiere, obviously Jess confesses her love. And we see this unravel this episode. So how are you feeling about her losing it, kind of?
Honestly, not that surprised. It's very Jess to do exactly what she did. But I think, as we were kind of mentioning earlier, she talks to everyone about it. Like, she actually talked to every single cast member about her feelings all at once, and it was kind of emotional to see her so like worked up about it. It kind of made me a little sad.
No, I agree too. And I think it's crazy because we've seen Jess, like, she's so great about like beating around the bush and never actually gets her feelings out there. So it was so crazy to see her tell each, like Winston, she told Schmidt, which I was actually very shocked. How did you feel when she told Schmidt?
Right? That was so like, what? Like, I don't know. It was very new. I feel like she never goes to him for anything.
And she never, like, gets to the point either. It's always a beating around the bush. And obviously we see that kind of with all of the activities that she did. Which
the workout.
Which everybody mentioned that she was working out really hardcore and she was doing great at it. But, yeah, and I feel like Winston, obviously, I mean, he's really great. He always knows when something's up. He always knows, like, when to come to somebody. And, of course, this time he had no idea that was coming because he was like, oh, Nick's in town?
You know? Yes, like bro time is back. No,
actually, Jess is still in love with Nick. So, obviously, so we see her kind of lose it throughout the episode. But then, obviously, going back to Cece and Schmidt, the newlyweds, they're finding a house. How do you feel about them trying to leave the apartment?
Obviously, it makes me sad because it's like a crew and they're leaving, and I feel like at some point they're gonna end up back. I don't know how, but I feel it coming. Also because their house is a mess. But I also feel like that's gonna unite them all again. Like, it's gonna be like this big like project they're all gonna have together. And I don't know, I kind of see this happening is Nick and Jess like all of a sudden in more of this coupley environment, like romantic house type of thing.
Yeah,
may lead to something further down the road again because they're so back and forth, but
yeah, I just feel like every time someone leaves, they always find their way back.
Always come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, no matter what. So I think part of me is like, okay, like Cece and Schmidt are going to embark on that, but like, what if they end up moving into that house? Like, maybe it's so great that they end up moving into the house with Cece and Schmidt.
I never even thought about that. That's so true. Like, upgrading, like, oh, we're in a house, like, not a loft anymore.
I know. I'm just really wondering how this is going to pan out because obviously, we see, you know, Cece wants to leave. So does Schmidt. They want to kind of get their marriage going.
But they should.
Yeah, they should. But it's like, I feel like I'm holding on to them. Like, I don't want them to grow up. Even though they're married, I was wanting them to stay in the house for a little bit longer. And it makes me sad. So I'm hoping that maybe somehow they'll get all back together. But like you said, they're probably going to find themselves together in this house. Which, in searching for the house, Allie's sister brings them to a stranger's home. I can't believe it.
That girl, my goodness. She just... Also, how were they in there 3 times before?
I don't know.
What? What was that?
She's like, I just kind of search on Google. I don't really... And they're like, what? They're like, this is great. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a pretty house. I wonder how they found it. And then, no, that was not the right one. And then Jess obviously runs the wrong direction.
Of course she does. Of course she does.
And then we see Jess interjecting in her way to be the landlord, which obviously is a sense of her just doing her normal Jess stuff, and she wants to kind of get her claws in there. And how do you feel like she's doing with this house project?
I don't know. I mean, she really picked a fixer-upper. I think she'll do really well because Jess is the type of person, as we know, who she puts her mind to something and she just goes full force, like 110% every time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like anxious to see how this will turn out because this is a huge project. This isn't like a classroom field trip or a lesson.
Yeah, which we saw the classroom field trip, and that did not end up well at all.
This is like a home. This is like a big investment for them, like lots of money, lots of time. So I don't know. How do you see it going?
I see the end of the episode just like brings me home because I just love them all so much, and their friendship is so magical. I feel like when I watch them all just talk and hang out with each other, I'm like, can I just be in the room with you guys? Like, can I laugh and joke with you? But I don't know. I mean, okay, so let's jump back to the bank though. What did you think did you think they were going to get the loan for the house?
I didn't, to be honest.
I was like, wait, it's either going to go one or two ways. They're going to get the loan for the huge house, and then the huge house is going to trample them. They're going to end up back in the apartment, or they would, get the not get the loan and then end up in a less nice house. And then we have the banker who was a little off. And then Jess goes and they think that she's robbing the place.
Which cracked me up because I'm like, look at her. She looks so like.
And he's like, and then she's like, don't touch that button.
Don't touch it.
Did you think Nick was going to notice her?
Yes, and he didn't. So.
And he literally
shows how clueless Nick is. Like sometimes I'm just like, how do you not know?
I know.
Like, how do you not know?
I know, which brings us to their interaction when they saw each other. So obviously we see her open the door, very shocked to see Nick. What did you think was going to happen as soon as that door opened?
I don't know. My heart kind of exploded like hers. I felt like I was like, oh my God, this is happening. I didn't know what to expect. I think Jess reacted the way I thought she would, just like being Jess, awkward, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the zoo. What?
Which everybody knows she hates the zoo.
So, what did you think?
I honestly was like, I thought it was a train wreck was about to occur, and I was shocked for the amount of emotions that we didn't see. Like, we didn't see too much craziness happen, and Nick is, like you said, very clueless to the situation. He has no idea. He just wants some time with his best friend, Jess, who set him up on this amazing, relationship. So, I mean, I went a little smoother than I was expecting, and she got out faster than I would have expected as well.
That is true.
Talking about Dee Dee.
Out of there. Dee Dee. Yeah, who's Dee Dee?
He's like, you have one friend. It's Cece, not Dee Dee. But I don't know. I feel like, how do you think that, starting off this season, how do you feel like this is going to unravel as we see Jess she's already put her feelings out there to everybody. All of her friends know how she's feeling. How do you think it's going to play out?
I feel like it's going to be similar to how it has been before. But at the same time, I think she's at such a fragile point now because it's happened so many times that this might be like the actual breaking point if something does or doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because I think if Nick and Reagan stay together, and also, why did he not talk about Reagan at all? All he talked about was his book. But anyways, I don't know. I feel like something fishy is there, and like maybe that'll fall out and then they'll be back together again. But I don't know because I feel like she almost doesn't trust him in a way. I kind of agree in the not trusting, but I feel like it's also a little bit confusing because she's like, wait, am I really going into this? And I don't know if she actually wants to because now she's kind of guarded because where's Reagan? But like you said, he didn't bring up Reagan at all. So it's like, was this a good trip? Like, I want to know more. Right, and he ended early, came back a month early, right?
To do
all
long
he
distance.
Talks about was his book.
I think we might be unraveling something because sometimes Nick likes to come back and lie a little and be like, oh yeah, it was great. And like, I just want to talk to my friends and hang out. So what if they actually aren't together and that's going to come out? Do you
And
think
he dedicated the book to her, so that's something too, or like mentioned her at the beginning.
True. So I'm thinking that
So like he was thinking about her there, obviously.
and do you think maybe the fact that, you know, she's the one that set them up, maybe it got him thinking about her more? Mm-hmm. Like maybe he's like, maybe they're on the same page for once. How crazy would that be?
What?
Obviously,
Never.
Are you a Nick and Jess fan? Like, do you want them to be together in the end?
Yes and no. No, because they can't ever seem to figure it out, and I don't know if they ever will. But yes, because I feel like they genuinely do really love each other at the end of the day. I mean, they're best friends. That's the best case scenario for any relationship, is to be best friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you?
I literally, I think their chemistry is amazing. The last couple like episodes and the last season, we saw them really dive into the best friendship, and they didn't really show any other emotions or feelings besides that. So it was like weird because before like leading up to their first time ever being together, it was like I was on the edge of my seat, ready for them to be together. I wanted them to fall in love, like almost even marriage at that point. I feel like it was all like full force. But then last season, I feel like it's gotten me to this like stagnant, like I have no emotion towards it because I'm like, well, they've been apart for so long. So then when she admitted that she was in love with him again, I was like, yes. But at the same time, it's like, but how long is it going to be till we see them together?
Yes.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
And you're right though, they never end up together. Like it's always some sort of issue where like one person's on a different page or one person doesn't like something that's going on. And I don't know. I love them and I think that they're amazing together, but it's like is their actual relationship as good as like what it like appears to be? Like obviously watching them from like you're just like, oh my gosh, I love you guys so much, but like is it supposed to be them together? I don't know.
Well, and I think the problem too with Jess is she always seems to have a plan and like a way things need to go or should go, and Nick's never been that way. So I think for her, which is showed in the past, is she kind of is like, but I like want you to be you, but at the same time like I wish you did this way, or you know, things like that. And I think that's what's going to keep them
butting heads almost.
It's almost like Nick needs to mature or something.
Yeah, which we've seen him mature a lot.
That is true.
Over the course of the show, we've seen him mature more than he has. He actually has a full-time job now, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But also, can we talk about how great he looked?
Oh my god, he looked so much better.
I was just like, obviously, like Nick has such a cute personality. I feel, and like, you know, he's a great, like he just is, I feel like he's got a catch. Like there's something so cute about him.
But
like also,
hot. It's weird.
Like he's got such a great combo going there for him. So when they like panned him, I was like, man, like you chiseled out where like when you were gone.
It's like Jess was like bigger, you got a little tan.
Yeah, and Jess was looking great as well. And then, so obviously the book, and we talked about this briefly, but he got into the book and like really got to talk about it. And do you think that like, what is it going to be about? Like, what do you think it's going to be about?
No, I'm so eager to find out because I feel like Nick can be so surface level, like, bro, this, that, like, let's party. But then I feel like he does have like this deep side to him, but I don't know what the deep side is really full of.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm confused because the last book that he wrote, it was just kind of like, it just kind of got thrown away.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really curious as to what it's going to be about. And like when Jess said, oh, and my name, and it said my friend, I wonder if he's doing that because he really thinks of her as a friend, or it's like my friend, like my soulmate, but I'm just using that to see what you'll say to that. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
Just to see her reaction when he says friend. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, what else would he have said? I mean, technically, he's taken.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna find out next episode that like Reagan and him are like not together.
Bye.
Yeah, like see you, Reagan. See you later. See you never. We need Jess and Nick to be together. Like right now.
Right now.
Yes,
because
I
don't
them.
think Nick can do long distance either.
I don't think so.
No.
Do you think
I don't
one of
see
them's
that
going to cave?
happening.
Like, say they are together. Say my prediction's off and they are still
Yes.
together. Do you think he's going to like cave and end up leaving?
Like to Seattle?
Yeah.
No, because he left New Orleans early. Like, I don't know
That's
why
true.
he would go back and do that again. Like, something had to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, something was off. And maybe it wasn't as like we said, I feel like Nick like knows how to hide things, and it's not going to come out until like someone really like starts prying, like Schmidt or something. That's going to just like
Yes, and it's going to be Schmidt.
Yeah.
You're right. Because he's going to be like, da-da-da, like, da-da-da, like,
just in his Schmitty ways, like he's just gonna be like, hey, and then obviously, you know, with the house at the end of the episode, we see them all come together and everything's normal. There's no awkwardness, and they're just their beautiful friendship, and everything is amazing. But I feel like they're all going to end up building this house together and end up moving into it. And it's going to be like a huge, like basically Loft Part 2.
yes.
Do you agree with
Yes.
me?
No, I agree. Because they can't not be together. They're like addicted to each other almost. They're so close. Addicted is maybe not the best word.
But kind of. They always find their way back to each
Yeah,
other. And no
yeah.
matter how many roommates they get to cover up the people missing, they always end up back in the house.
That's true.
Do you have any predictions for the next episode? Should we do some predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yes, I think Reagan and Nick are not going to make it. That's my biggest one.
Okay, I agree. And I think that we're going to come into some sort of house debacle. Like whether
Okay.
it be like something like completely, maybe a house debacle in the sense that one of them is starting to freak out. Like Schmidt is
Okay.
going to be like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can make this house better. And
Yes, he will.
and Cece's been kind of the one to like bring the situation down to earth recently. And I feel like she is going to just like try to tame him, but he's going to like start freaking out. Like, there's so much to do. I don't know how to like, you know, it's just going to be
He's going to
something.
get overwhelmed. He's going to start overthinking everything. Like, well, should we do this? Should we do this? Should we do this? What color? Like, what stone? Like, what tile? Like, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
He's going to have like books and posters and maps like he did the wedding.
Yeah, that's true. But also, one more thing. Do you think, in a prediction just for next episode, do you think
Yes.
we're going to find out that soon that Jess tells Nick that he likes her?
No.
Okay, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a couple more episodes considering everybody does know. But yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you tune in next week to watch episode 2. Again, I'm Allie Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at AllieGirl__. And where can they find you?
At Banana, I can't say it. Banana Bofana on Twitter and Tessa underscore Cavel on Instagram. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.